Warning! This video contains coarse language, unusual humour, and an admittedly silly mistake on my part where audio settings are concerned. Viewer discretion is advised. Today's TS Classic video is very different from a normal review. It was the first time I ever took part in a race, and never in a million years did I think I'd ever get to collaborate with someone whose videos I've been a fan of for at least 8 years now. I didn't realise until after the race that I had my microphone volume set way too low, and had to use subtitles for my voiceover for the last 14 minutes of the recording.
Boom!
I can safely say that's not the sort of introduction I was expecting. But
No, that is the introduction you're getting, though.
yes, for those of you watching on my end, that is Dark DJ himself. And
Hello there.
yes, he is behind the Dark Railway series, which is a series. It's like an episodic TV show. It's just recorded in Train Simulator and uploaded on YouTube.
Indeed.
And he's been doing it for a very long time.
I've been doing it since 2011, so I've been doing it for nearly, over 13 years now.
And he recently finished writing season 13.
That's right, yeah, season 13's written. I'm going to be putting that together. At the time of recording this, we are at the end of 2024. I'm hoping to start putting it together we're nearly at the end of 2024. So it'll be 2025.
Really close to New Year's Day, as opposed to... Oh shit, I can't think of another U2 song.
I don't know any U2 songs, so that's fantastic.
One of them's New Year's Day, hence the attempted reference.
Right, got ya.
I don't really care for U2 myself.
Oh, I don't care for U2 either.
I do generally like 80s music. There was one song,
Go on, carry on.
No, sorry, carry on.
No, you 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 carry on.
Yeah, there was this one song recently that I discovered that it's from the 80s, but the best way I can describe it, it's got pretty good music, especially with the loud sort of stomping drums, but the lyrics are a bit cringe.
Ah, fair enough.
The song is...
Deadly.
It's by a band called Autograph, and the song title is Turn Up the Radio. So
right.
Viewers can go and look for that at their own, as and when they please.
At your own viewer discretion. Yes. Meanwhile, there's me. My music taste is very specific. I'm very specifically into 90s house music, which is annoying, because nobody else has the same taste in music as me, which is absolutely insane. I love it sometimes. It's a very lonely world when you're into that sort of thing. But did you want to introduce your viewers to what we're up to today?
May as well. Right, so you may have seen recently, unscripted voiceovers for the win.
It's fine. It's fine.
This is not necessarily an attempt to... It's not really meant to be like on the nose or anything, because I have been getting a lot of comments recently from people asking me to review the Preston to Carlisle route in TSW5, and what I've always been saying is, and essentially to try and reiterate it again, is I'm not saying I'll never review that route, but I'm simply waiting until I can get it on a discount, because I personally think that the full price is too high.
Yeah, that's valid. That's fair. I mean, I bought it full price myself, which is why I'm going to get the TS World 5 version of Preston to Carlisle. But that's because I've been very impressed with what Just Trains have brought to Train Sim World 5 before, which is the Blackpool branches route. And I also wanted to try out the 87. So I thought, I got some Christmas money, some Christmas vouchers, and I thought, well, screw it. I might as well treat myself to something nice for a change, seeing as I rarely ever do. So basically, go on.
On my end, that overhead wire is a tiny bit out of alignment. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean if you're.
I'll have a look on your video. I'll have a look on your video. Well, I think what we should do realistically is tell them to get back in line. Get back in line! There you go. Then they should get back in line now.
Something I realised the other day. Well, no, something I've sort of effectively trained myself to do is play random riffs from random songs on locomotive horns in TS Classic.
I have noticed that, yeah.
The one,
I mean, I could do it on my end.
One of the ones that I've been trying recently is that iconic alto saxophone riff from the war song Lowrider.
All right.
Another one I was trying was that guitar riff from Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. Yeah, my music taste is quite varied, to say the least.
Yeah, yours is varied, mine is very specific. I'm into Daft Punk, Ian Pooley, Len Nightclub, Crydamore,
I've heard of
Dead Mouse. Everyone's heard of Daft Punk at this point, I think.
Yeah,
I'm so upset that they're not together anymore.
I remember Get Lucky was... I remember hearing that on the radio quite a bit when that was a new song.
Yeah. Ironically enough, as a Daft Punk fan, I hate Get Lucky. I absolutely hate Get Lucky. It's so overplayed and it's so overpopularized. On that specific album, which was Random Access Memories, there was so many better songs on there, like Within and Motherboard and Doing It Right and Contact and oh god, I can't remember how you actually pronounce the title. Giovanni by Marauder or something like that.
Giorgio Moroder.
That's it, Giorgio by Marauder, that's it.
I remember there's 2 songs that he was involved with in the 80s that I recently discovered that I think are quite good.
Yeah?
One of them is Scarface, parentheses, Push It to the Limit.
Yep.
The extended version, which has a guitar solo that you don't hear on the normal 3-minute version.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is called Together in Electric Dreams, which he did with Philip Oakey from the Human League.
Ah, nice.
And all the while I've been blabbering about Giorgio Moroder, I've got the screen on Mark II coach number 5967, which in real life, and if I remember to do so, I'll cut away to some relevant footage that I've shot in real life. 5967 is now an AKF class kitchen coach and used on Kiwi Rail's Northern Explorer train.
Ooh. So our Mark II got well travelled then. Very nice.
Yes. I'm still slowly working on a video where I go over all the different variants of the Mark II rebuilds here.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to see, I reckon. I'd enjoy watching that probably because it's something different.
Enough blabbering about Mark IIs and random songs. You may as well
get this road on the show. Let's get this road on the show, shall we? Right, okay. Let's get prepped. So, brakes are for DAP. Well, I don't know.
I've already got my engine set up.
Okay. Well, when you're ready, I'll take the brakes off and we'll get shockingly started then. I'll let you do the countdown.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll go over to the right EMU again.
Oh.
And in 3, 2, 1, go.
We have liftoff.
No, we're not. We're not doing NASA launches. We're driving Class 87s.
Oh, we are now.
And hopefully this one doesn't explode 73 seconds after launch.
Oh, gosh, that's a spicy take.
I do apologise if anyone's offended by that joke.
To be fair, it happened so long ago. I mean, we obviously fought with all the with the losses and everything there.
Yeah.
That's what I would say anyway.
I remember one of the people on Challenger was actually wasn't she a teacher?
Yeah, she was a teacher. She won a contest. She was a teacher, and she was going to go into space and then contact her students. I think the whole idea was she was going to contact her students in space and explain the experience to them or something. But then, unfortunately, it never happened. Very sad. Right, how we going? How we going? We're doing well.
I think I'm already up, trying to get up to the speed limit, so I'm just going past the junction for the Settling Carlisle line. Then I think Upper B Yard's not far south of here.
Right.
That's right. I've also put a couple of 9Fs in the yard over here. One of them is Barry.
Yep.
And the other one is a Crosty 9F.
Ooh, a crusty one.
No, Crosty.
Crusty. They're a crusty 9F. They've got grime everywhere. God damn. Right, now can we run back up again? So I hit my first neutral section, so...
Oh, well, I'm still only doing 21 miles an hour because I'm looking at Barry.
Well, stop staring at Barry. He's not going to give you a chicken pie, is he?
Well, I wouldn't have thought... Well, I wouldn't accept the offer even if he did.
I certainly hope not. I don't want to know how Barry cooks his chicken pies, to be honest.
His crew, probably, for all we know, his crew probably cooks them in the firebox.
More than likely. Right, up to full power now.
I'm still only doing 21 miles an hour, but attempting to accelerate.
You might want to attempt to accelerate a bit quicker.
I know. I've actually just gone through a first neutral section.
Would you hate me if I told you I was already up to 67?
Oh bollocks! Yeah, we're definitely going to have. At this rate, we'll definitely have to put some kind of warning at the beginning saying contains coarse language.
Oh, probably, yeah. I could always do my patented catchphrase, which is, and I'm sorry to everybody out there, but I'm going to have to do it. This video is not made for children. Fuck, shit, wank, bollocks. There you go. So we'll have to put that somewhere.
There's a lot about me when I still laugh at those words sometimes.
Well, it's just odd. It's just juvenile. Well, I'm quite juvenile anyway sometimes, so it's fine.
And speaking of juvenile, I've just cleared... about half a minute ago, I cleared 69 miles an hour.
Cheeky!
Actually, no, or you could say rebuilt 56 miles per hour.
Oh yeah, of course.
That begs the question: is why the hell were they? Why the hell's the class number 69? Like, couldn't it have been something less
funny?
Better expression, on the nose.
I don't know, because I'd have because what are they? They're rebuilds from class 66s.
56s.
No, 56s, sorry. So you'd have thought they would have had the designated 66 in similar vein to how the 47 was made into a 57 body snatcher. However, we already had the sheds as class 66.
Yes.
67 was taken.
67s are basically... No, 66s, sorry.
Yeah.
They're basically the UK's equivalent of Kiwi Rail's DL class.
Mm.
Because those things, like I see, they're the only engines that haul trains around my way, at least the only mainline engine.
They're not EMD, are they?
Sorry?
They're not EMD, are they?
No, they're CRRC.
Ah, okay.
The Chinese. Although in saying that, recently Kiwi Rail took delivery of the first two of their new Stadler-built engines. The DM class.
Alright.
So when the driver's going in the cab of the DM, you could say he's sliding into someone's DM.
Oh my god. Sliding into the cab of my DM, boys. Way.
I was lucky to see one of the DMs when I was in Christchurch. Not the one near Bournemouth, mind.
Not the one that I don't go to, because I live in that region. I don't say where exactly I live, but I know of Christchurch in the UK. I try not to go there due to one of my girlfriends living there, and I would rather not run into them ever again if I can help it.
Fair enough.
I'm always scared that if I ever went there and I'm walking down the high street and suddenly see them, then I'd have to go and dive behind some dustbin or something. Or run for my life.
What you would find behind the dustbin.
Probably cat sick or something, I'd imagine. Ugh, I know. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised over there. Anyway, so you went to Christchurch.
Yes, and it's a bizarre thing because the main railway yard, the way that's set up, it's right next to the sort of the edge of the car park for the warehouse. And for anyone who's not in New Zealand who's watching, warehouse is kind of like our equivalent of Walmart, or whatever the British equivalent of Walmart is.
Like an Asda, like an Asda or a Tesco. Basically, it's like a superstore, essentially.
Yeah, it's like a department store.
Yeah, that's right.
In other news, I am about to reach the ton.
I'm doing 104 at the moment.
I am 1.2 miles from a waypoint called Southwaite up Main. Though I can't imagine you'd be able to work out where that is in the TSW version.
I have no idea. All I'm going to be able to tell you is when I pass through Penrith, probably going down Shap and through the site of T-Bay, probably Oxenholme, and Lancaster. Those are the landmarks I've got in my head that I can work out. Or I could tell you when I go through my next neutral section, which I know is just before Preston.
I've just had to quickly do pause break here because I've found a good sunlit shot.
Oh, don't. I do that all the time. If I'm doing stuff, I will literally just stop the game, pause break the game, and I'll just be like, I could be in the middle of a race with one of my friends, I'll just be like, I'm just going to pause here and try and take a nice screenshot. And they're like, Tom, you're going to ruin the race because you're going to lose or you're going to like fall behind. And it's like, I don't care. I want the nice screenshot. I'm having it. It's mine now. Mine.
Anyone would think that bro's a foamer.
Oh, I do love a nice, tasty screenshot. Don't mind me. I'm in a funny mood today.
Speaking of foamers, I don't really want to get started on what's going on in the American rail fan community, at least from what I've heard.
I don't know what's going on with
right.
Well, I don't know what's going on with American rail fans at the moment.
Well, consider yourself lucky.
I shall. All I know at the moment is I'm trying to think of anything UK related that I know at the moment. I haven't really been following much. Well, actually,
there's a few UK rail fan channels that I subscribe to, but I can't remember their names.
No.
I think I do remember one, although it's not really much of a traditional rail fan.
Right.
Jeff Marshall.
Yeah, I know of Jeff Marshall. Jeff Marshall, yeah. I mean, I watch a guy called Jago Hazard. I like his stuff.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, I really enjoy his content for some reason. He's a great chap, I reckon. Oh, the only other person I watch is a guy called Nick Badley.
Yeah, that also rings a bell.
Yeah, he does
I don't watch his videos too much.
I started watching his when he started doing some point-to-point travels and things. Oh, that's another guy. Sorry, Johnny Hoover Travels I watch as well. Which
Johnny
is
Class 50?
No! No, not Johnny Class 50!
You said Hoover.
I know! Not that kind of gear. Oh, well, if I'm going to talk about Class 50, I'd probably call it a VAC. Because that's what they were called originally. Or they're just, well, my friend Ryan would probably just turn around and say they are incredibly based, is what he would call them. But anyway, Johnny Hoover Travels is a good chap. I watched, he's doing a challenge at the moment. He's going all around the southwest coast path, only travelling on buses. And he went to Bideford, and he actually went up to the railway station there, the preserved site of the old railway station at Bideford, which is interesting.
The name Bideford rings a bell, because that's, if I recall correctly, that's around the area where James May relayed a...
I think he did Barnstable to Torrington, I think, which is part of the old Southern line from Bideford, yeah. I'm sure that's what he did, yeah. I know of the challenge, but I can't fully remember what it is he actually did, because I didn't actually watch it. But I think he did it once and failed, and then he did it again and succeeded. Because he was going to run a train all the way along the length of that route, I believe.
And the second one, I think, the engine that made it all the way to Bideford was, I think it was an old Flying Scotsman model that apparently had, quote, realistic chuffing sound.
Oh god, of course it had to be Flying Scrap Heap, didn't it?
In other news, I am currently going through a place called Plumpton.
Oh, did that make you quite plump?
No.
Ah, right, good boy. Keep dieting, everyone. Everyone in the audience, keep dieting. Make sure you have a nice diet for New Year.
Make sure that if you do things like go to McDonald's, I suggest doing what I do and only go there about once a month, if that.
I don't even. I haven't had a McDonald's for about 4 months.
Incidentally, whenever I go to a Macca's, the only thing I ever really get is a Scottish tugboat. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong Big Mac.
Wrong Big Mac. Thanks, Mickey. I owe you one. Good. A fellow Tugs fan out there. I love it.
You saying Mickey actually reminds me of yet another song. It was like a really goofy sort of early '80s one-hit wonder, and it was sung by someone called Tony Basil.
Right. As
opposed to Tony Oregano or Tony Time.
Oh, hang on. I think I'm about to hit another neutral section. I just need to look for the sign.
No, I'm looking out for a neutral section too.
I'm pretty sure that I'm approaching Penrith already.
Oh, you're probably a fair way ahead of me then.
I mean, I'm doing Do you want me to tell you how fast I'm going?
420 miles an hour exactly.
I'm not 420 blaze at St. Michaeling, no. Right, I'm pretty sure this is the neutral section coming up. Yep, there it is.
Going on the what am I doing? I think I'm about 1.5 miles from the neutral section just north of Penrith.
I'm just going through Penrith platform now. So I've just gone through.
Well, frankly, I'm not too fussed over the possibility of losing.
Well, to be honest with you, we were more doing this because we wanted to showcase the routes and have a chat, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, which again, this is the first. I want to point out to both our audiences, this is the first time that we have both actually spoken to each other, which is hilarious to think about.
I just realised I'm got a 95 speed limit coming up, and I started slowing down way too late.
Uh-oh.
And yet, by some miracle, I just got down to 95 at the exact second where I hit the start of the 95 limit.
Oh, crumbs.
And going through a neutral section.
There you go, then. I'll tell you what, I have to say, of the Class 87s, of the two that we've got, so the TSC one and the TS World one, which is one that we both, well, I've both driven both. I have to say it, I prefer the TS Classic version by AP. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. By AP, because I like the way the tap changer works. I think I like the fact that with the tap changer on the AP Class 87, you have to hold U to tap up and down. Whereas on this one, you just literally move the A and D key up, down, up, down. You can't actually tap like you can with the 87 in Train Sim Classic. So overall, I think I still prefer the AP one over the West Coast Mainline for TS5 one, TS World 5. The only thing that elevates the TS World one above is it's got 3D nameplates, but it hasn't got as many liveries. It's only got, well, the ship with the route, it's only got BR Blue and then BR Intercity. And even then, it's only the half one.
You certainly get a lot more. You certainly get a lot more than just 2 liveries with the AP/Wagons pack.
Yeah, because you get like DRS, you get Network Southeast. I think you even get that. I can't remember what that pink one is. I don't know if there's a Fragon set one in there either. I can't remember.
Well, I know some liveries that you don't get are the Bulgarian ones.
Yeah, that's
for some
a bit
reason.
strange.
There's a lot of 87s running in Bulgaria now.
We'll have to ask the Bulgarians why we haven't got a route for them to play with in Train Sim, so they can have some Bulgarian livery ones.
That's the point. I think some 86s are in Bulgaria too, but I could be wrong.
I know that some oh god no, was it 76? I think 76s and 77s went over to the continent. I can't remember exactly where, but I'm pretty sure that there was.
It was just the 77s.
It was the 77. That's right, because they're with NS, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they were running in the Netherlands, they were designated as the 1500 class. Not to be confused with some chonky 060 pannier tanks from the late 40s.
Oh yeah, from those fine folk at British Railways. I mean, Great Western Railway. Strange,
Incidentally, I've actually got a
Strange,
model of one of the 1500s.
Which one?
1501.
Ooh, ooh. See, I haven't got one.
In a preservation condition.
Yeah, I haven't got a model of a 1500. I'm actually still waiting for my KR Models Leader, actually, because I ordered that thing 4 years ago and I'm still waiting for it. I'm quite disappointed that it's taken so long to make and to ship. So, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it in the long run because I do like the SR Leader class.
The only KR, well, personally, the only KR model that I'm interested in is that Clayton DHP1.
DHP1, is that the predecessor to the 17?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a really overweight Class 17.
Oh, my friend Reese would be very happy with that. He loves 17s. He literally sponges over them. It's unreal.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I should say that's too much information.
Oh, definitely probably too much information, but I shared it anyway because that's just the kind of guy I am.
I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna try and play the low rider riff on the 87's horn.
Go for it. Go for it.
Screwed that up on the first attempt. Try it again.
You might be
think
able
it
to hear
works out
that just
fine.
about on my side. You'll probably be able to hear it better on DC's side. Right, where am I? I'm trying to work out where I am.
I swear, that was the Funky Town riff.
Yeah, that
not
was that.
Lowlight.
Yeah, no, I've just done Funky Town.
I can tell you one riff that I am probably not even going to attempt to play on any horns in TS Classic.
Mm.
The main riff from Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train.
Oh my god. Good luck doing that.
Yeah, that's actually the only song of his that I like, in all honesty.
Fair. I don't think
I
I
don't.
ever listened to Ozzy Osbourne or anything like that, I'm afraid.
Tell you what my favourite song of all time is.
Go on.
Telegraph Road by Dire Straits.
Oh. Trying to think what my favourite song is.
Say again?
I'm trying to think what my favourite song... You carry on for a minute, I'm going to try and work out what my favourite song is while you explain.
Well, one of the reasons why I like Telegraph Road is just because of the wildly varying, I don't know how to say, it's got an interesting structure in its scenes, because, well, the other notable thing about the song is that it goes on for 14 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
Oh.
one of the longest songs I've heard. About a similar length to the live version of Peter Frampton's Do You Feel Like We Do.
Oh my gosh. It's a long old time, but I kind of like longer songs, really. I think sometimes a longer song is pretty good.
And it's, I think, what's the song about? I always find it, oh bollocks.
Oh.
Notification on my screen from Bandicam saying not enough disk space to record.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, God.
I guess I'll have to pretty much can any hope of recording on or uploading a video from my perspective.
Ah. I'll tell you what, keep the footage you've got so far, though. Chuck it to me and I'll edit some of it into mine if you want.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah?
Suppose any solution's better than nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've spent all this time getting this set up. We'll obviously still complete the race. It's just a shame. I mean, oh, God. I don't know how big Bandicam records. This is why I prefer doing it with OBS. And I'll have to get you hooked up with OBS. And get that sorted out for you. Because I mean, I don't know actually how... I'm not even going to attempt to look and see how big my file size is so far. But normally when I make a longer video, they're only a couple of gigabytes.
Although I suppose it was partly my fault because I forgot to set the Bandicam, or the recording, to be dropped in a hard drive that had more space.
Oh, whoops. Can you not pause it? Can you not pause here? And then restart Bandicam to record to another drive? Then you'll only miss
I'll try that.
Yeah, try that, because then you'll only miss this little bit, and plus this little bit will just be on my video, which is fine. It's technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll do that when you start recording again.
It's technical difficulties, despite the absence of Tom Scott, Chris Joel, Gary Brannon, and Matt Gray. I nearly said Matt Walsh at that point.
Right, I've got to notch down. Because I believe I am now on Shap, going down it, and if I hit above 122 miles an hour, which I'm currently doing, the power it just cuts off anyway. So from this point onwards, I'm coasting for a while as we roll down Shap.
Yeah, well, I still haven't got to the summit yet.
Oh God!
I think I can restart the recording now. Yes, that was a bit of a nuisance, but it turns out that I'd set my video to... in the Bandicam settings, I had it set to drop the video files in a hard drive that has ended up with too much, not enough free space.
So technical difficulties, everybody. We love to see it, don't we? Or do we? Ha!
Is that your impression of a Minecraft villager?
I've never played Minecraft, so I have no idea.
Just the that's the kind of noise that the villagers make.
I'm trying to think where I got
it's
that
all they
noise
actually
from.
It's all they actually say instead of speaking real words, which I find a little weird.
It's just one of them
There's
things.
a lot of things I find weird.
I find a lot of things weird. I'll tell you what, I'm certainly going at a clip now.
I still haven't got to the summit.
I'm
Well,
coasting.
I haven't
I'm
got to.
coasting.
I haven't got to Hardendale Quarry, let alone Shap Summit itself.
Oh god, oh god. I mean, I'm coasting along at 133 miles an hour somehow. I have no idea how this is possible.
I'm currently doing 87 in an 87.
Oh, well there you go. That's something.
Yes, it is indeed something.
It is a thing that occurred. I'm still trying to think what my favourite song of all time is. Gosh, I mean, trying to think of songs that I go back to and listen all the time. It's probably going to be either something like Followed by Ian Pooley, or Rock and Roll by Daft Punk, or oh gosh, what one of my own songs that I always go back to and listen to, or at least try to get to come up on my radio when I'm listening to music. Probably something like Evolve.
The only one of yours that I can remember is 9.
Yeah, that's because that's the intro, isn't it?
Yeah, for TDRS.
Yeah. I got a lot of songs. I've made a lot of songs over the years. I started making music all the way back in 2007, so my catalogue is absolutely gigantic. And most of it is just demo stuff. Go on.
I just went past Hardendale Quarry and am now trying to... Wait, hang on. Why have I got a speed limit?
You might want to check that.
It's insisting on putting me through the blasted loop. So now it wants me to slow down to 15 miles an hour.
Oh, bloody game. I hate it when that happens.
The signalman's being a bit of a dickhead.
The signalman's drunk, ladies and gentlemen. I think that happens to me whenever I try West Coast Main Line North, which is from Carlisle up to Glasgow. If you do a quick drive in Trainson Classic, for some reason it insists on putting you into the loop at Lockerbie. And the only way to...
because it wants you to... Actually, no, I was about to make a joke that's probably in poor taste, so moving on.
Moving on. Right, I can put power back on now. I've gone through T-Bay, by the way.
I'm only just at Bloomin' Shap Summit, about to go down the hill.
Yeah, but you should speed right up now then.
No, so, I'm not going to try to drive like a
maniac.
Loony,
I mean, I'm driving like a loony.
Yeah,
because
I'm not
it's
going to try to drive like a Michael Cimbello song.
I'm just like 420 blazing it because big speed is always big fun, and also it gives everyone a good look at the sheer length of the route as well. Because bear in mind, this is one of the longest train sim world routes, I think.
It's not the longest.
It's one of, I think. Is there a American one that's longer?
No, I believe the longest route in TSW is Kassel to Würzburg, so that German high-speed route that comes to TSW3.
Okay.
One of the routes that, for the time being at least, I have no intention of reviewing because I just find it incredibly boring.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have much fun on that either.
The trouble with that route...
Yeah.
The trouble with that route is that the scenery is like really monotonous because you're either dashing along through like tunnels of varying lengths or going across like great feckin' big viaducts. It's that same sort of thing over and over again for I think it's something like 115 miles, and there's only 3 stations.
Yeah, that's no good really. That's why I prefer something like this, because even though Preston to Carlisle only has what you've got Carlisle station, you've got let's see, Penrith,
Carlisle,
Penrith, Oxenholme, Lancaster and Preston. But
of course, if the route was set further back in the past, the mainline trains would be able to stop at Carnforth.
Yeah, they'd be able to stop at Carnforth. They'd even, if it was set even further back, you could stop at T-Bay and Low Gill.
On the end.
Yeah. Speaking of bankers,
I'm just going through Scouts Green.
Right. Speaking of bankers, though, I think the video that I'm intending to do will come out before this one because I'll have to edit this one in post. But I should have, by this point, looked at the Southern Railway Z-Class 080 tank engine from Steam Loco Collection by the time this video goes out, which I'm very interested to look at. obviously I'm doing this video before I go and make that one, so you will already know what I think of the Z-Class by the time this video goes out. But I'm very happy to see that Steam Loco Collection, I'm going to call them Southern Loco Collection now. I'm very happy that Steam Loco Collection has released their Z-Class, because it was something I've been very interested in for a long time, and I'm glad to see they've brought it out. So we'll certainly see.
I didn't even realise anyone was working on the Z-Class. I only found out about it until someone posted about it in your server earlier today.
Yeah, that's because, as far as I can remember, and don't quote me on this everybody, I've known that the Z-Class has been being made for a while because I follow Steam Loco Collection on their blog. But I also know that there was somebody else at one point making a Z-Class tank, but that seems to have vanished off the face of the earth at the moment, and I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was someone called Joe. But either way, there were 2 Z-Classes being made at one point, but I think the other one stalled, and this one people I think just presumed had dropped off the face of the earth because Steam Loco Collection doesn't update very often, because I think they're a very busy person, and I think they do more stuff outside of Train Sim than they do within, if that makes sense. It's sort of like their part-time side hustle, if you like. So I think that's where the story with the Z-Class comes out being such a surprise, because as I say, I was expecting it to not be out either at all or for a very long time, so I'm very pleased to see that it's done. And if anybody's ever seen what I do on my channel, I'm very much a fan of their H-Class tank, despite the fact the textures are a bit, well, questionable, let's say. But that doesn't detract from the fact that the modelling is all superb, and the amount of effort that goes into the manual and the modelling and all of that lot, I have to commend it for. So I'm imagining at this point, before recording the Z-Class video, that I'm going to feel pretty much the same on the Z-Class, although I have noticed that the textures, especially on the locomotive, do look like they've been improved upon. So I'm very excited to have a look at the Z-Class. Plus it's something I'm actually interested in because I like the prototype quite a lot. They were heavy shunters for the Southern Railway, designed by Richard Maunsell. They're a 3-cylinder 080 tank engine. How incredibly based is that? That is amazing. And they worked
That's a very big chunk.
It is a big chunky boy. He is a big boy. I would say he's probably going to be Rick's son, to be honest. Look, this is a little Rick. Give him a pat on the smoke box. But they worked in yards in London, I believe, like the big marshalling yards in London. They could do trip working between yards. And they ended their days, funnily enough, out on the western region, banking trains from Exeter St David to Exeter Central. And one was going to be preserved.
That's a point. I did hear something about that. I'll go so far as to say that it's kind of tragic that none of the Zs were preserved.
It is actually a travesty, because this is coming from someone who likes Bully Pacifics, and Black Fives. We have so many Bully Pacifics and Black Fives in preservation. It's a shame that some of these other types weren't preserved, because there was, I think it was number 952, so 30952 was listed for preservation. It was going to be privately preserved, it was stored, but unfortunately the whole thing fell through and it was taken away for scrap, which is a travesty. I think it was the Bluebell Railway that wanted it. They also wanted a Billington K-Class Mogul, but that also fell through, which I believe is how they ended up with, oh gosh, which one was it they ended up with instead of the K-Class Mogul? It might have been, I don't know which one it is. It could be the Adams Radial, it could be one of the Terriers, or it could have been the Duke Dog. But either way, I think it was the Duke Dog. Someone will correct us in the comments anyway. But either way, it is a shame that those designs are now long gone and consigned to the history books. We could live in a world where we really want certain locomotives to be preserved. But the only good thing I will say is that in this modern digital age, at least we can recreate that past, to a degree at least, with some of the models we have in these games. Like, you know, for example, we've got classes that don't exist anymore from the Caledonian Railway, for example. We've got London and North Western Railway locos as well.
I guess for a random example of a Cali engine that doesn't exist, that we've now got in TS, the 956 class 460.
Yeah, which is, I find it's a very interesting locomotive in the fact that in real life they were notoriously poor performers.
And they're poor performers in TS and all.
They are poor performers in TS, but I know one friend of mine who actually has managed to somehow master the 956, and they can drive it relatively okay. But I do like the fact that it is simulated to be more like its real life counterpart. At least that gives it an edge over certain other locomotives from CW, in the fact that the 956, it was notoriously a poor steamer in the past, but it's been simulated to be like that in train sim. Therefore, I think that makes it a good locomotive in terms of prototypicality. I think that's a word I literally just invented. But the 956 is a very cool looking engine. I call it Fat Clyde because it's basically just a fat version of the Class 191. But it's also got 3 cylinders. It's another Pickers Guild design, because there are no Pickers Guild locomotives preserved in real life. So no 956s, no 191s, and no 944s or anything like that. All we've got, Caledonian, I think, in preservation, is the Drummond 123 single, the Macintosh 812, and the Macintosh 439.
Yeah, so the survivors are obviously 123, which is stuffed and mounted in Glasgow's Riverside Museum.
Correct.
The tank engine's 419, which I sometimes get confused with the class number of 439.
Yeah, that's right.
And then of course the 812,
which
survivor
is
828.
Yeah.
And I remember that a lot of CW's Caledonian engines for TS use sounds that were recorded from 828.
Yeah, which I want to defend that anyway, because when you've got a prototype that no longer exists, you have to try and find the closest sound possible. And if a locomotive doesn't exist and there's no sound recordings of it, we have to go with what's the best. And I think it's a good idea. Other people have said before about, oh, well, the sounds are recycled and whatnot. And yes, in some respects, it's bad when locomotive sounds are recycled when you have got a prototype to record off. But when you haven't got a prototype... Yeah, looks at Dovetail Games. Cough. Yeah. And also kind of looks at some of the Great Western stock we've got in games. A lot of that does sound the same. But, again, if a prototype doesn't exist, I think it's perfectly fine and perfectly reasonable to use recordings from either a similar or a locomotive that would have had, for example, the same cylinder arrangement. For example, I think the 956, I think the chuffing of the 956 is taken from Italia Jubilee, which is another 3-cylinder locomotive, and I think that's perfectly acceptable. The only time I think it isn't acceptable is if a locomotive is operational in preservation and no effort is made to try and record sounds from it while it's active.
Again, steers a Dovetail.
Yeah. I look at Dovetail.
I remember they put was it when they did the Class 175, they reused the sounds from the Class 180.
Yeah.
While the 175s and 180s do both have Cummins engines in real life, they still have different types of engines.
I said Cummins.
175. Carry on.
No, I just laughed because you said Cummings, and I thought, oh, Cumming. I'm just being facetious. Don't mind me.
I don't actually know what facetious means.
Don't worry about it.
Though it's a word I remember hearing on Dad's Army, of all things.
Yeah. But anyway, so the 175 and 180 have very similar engine, basically, but they do not sound the same in reality.
Yes, I know this, despite, again, not being British.
Which I always find fascinating. Then again, I've got other friends who are more interested in the UK scene than they are in the countries they're from. I've got American friends who are much more interested in UK stuff.
Saying that, I've still got a fairly strong interest in the Kiwi stuff.
Which is evident from normal content, yeah?
Yeah, and indeed the channel's name, because DC 4260, not 4260, 4260, is, she's quite an interesting locomotive in a sense, because she's the only member of her class to get what's called the Kiwi Rail Phase 1 livery.
Right.
And there have been a few other occasions throughout the years where I've seen her, and even got to have a look in the cab once.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was at, I think it was at Palmerston North in January 2012.
Yeah.
In other news, I'm a mile out from Oxenholme.
I think I've been through Oxenholme already, but I don't think I shouted out when I went through, and I can't remember how long ago I went through. I mean, I'm clocking in at 115 at the moment. How fast are you going?
92.
Ouch. Which is
but the current speed limit's 95, and it's going up to 110 after Oxenholme Station.
I'd floor it now, get the speed up. because it's nice and long. It's just a long flat section between Oxenholme and Carnforth.
Oh, it's mostly down. I thought it was mostly downhill from Oxenholme to Carnforth.
It's mostly down.
From Carnforth to Preston, it's relatively flat.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really noticed much of a hill, to be honest, in TSW. I'll probably feel it more if I was in Train Sim Classic. But I know that it goes downhill from Shap Summit to T-Bay. It goes up a little bit for Grey Rig, and then down from Grey Rig through Oxenholme, and then it starts to flatten out as we head toward Preston. Which, according to my thingy bob at the top of my screen, is 23 miles away. But as we've worked out, the way that Train Sim World works, we believe that it calculates distance as the crow flies rather than via track mileage.
That's especially noticeable on the Arosa line.
Yeah.
That's one of Rivet Games' routes, and the less said about it, the better.
I've never tried the Arosa line. I've actually purposely not looked for it because you've basically said that it's not worth looking at, so I haven't bothered.
Yeah. At this point, I've torn Rivet Games a new one more times than I care to remember.
Oh, I know. I know. That's a question, actually. I'm just going to ask a question. Have you actually got Blackpool branches?
Yes.
You have, good boy.
Yeah, I got that, like, more or less right around the time it was released.
Good boy. I just can't remember. I've probably seen the video you've done. I've just completely forgotten about it. But then again, I've got so much stuff going around in my head that I can hardly remember what I did yesterday.
Yes, you're not the only one that's got a lot of things on their mind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to get into most of it because it involves things in my personal life.
No, that's fair. Absolutely fair.
Hey, why am I still doing 90 and not accelerating up to 110?
Have you tapped up?
I've only just got. It's the engine's, I think, tapping up now, but it does take a while for the amps to build up.
I'm just going through Lancaster now, on the avoiding lines.
Yes, well, I had a feeling I was going to lose, but I didn't think I would end up this far behind.
Well, I didn't realise that. For some reason, I should have done a test in Train Sim Classic to see how long it takes in the Class 87 in there. But I don't know whether the speed is just unrealistic in Train Sim World. Because I do think that, I mean, the fact that I was able to roll down Shap at 125, 130 miles an hour does seem a little bit unrealistic. Considering that I don't think you can, I think you're hard capped at something like 110 in Train Sim Classic going downhill. I'd have to go and check it, to be honest. But either way, I tell you what, I do quite like this route. I like the route in general, and I like the merger in Train Sim Classic, where you go from Preston all the way up to Glasgow. It's always a good run.
I don't remember ever hearing about that merger.
It's a merger of West Coast Over Shap and West Coast North. I think I've done a couple of videos on it. In fact, my race last year, which is actually ironic, it was either last year or the year before. Funnily enough, I did a race from Preston to Carlisle with an 87. Although I think it was either Preston to Carlisle or Preston to Glasgow. I think it was called like New Year something. I'll have to go and dig it out. New Year Shenanigans or something like that. But yeah, so it's kind of weird that I'm doing the same run again over a year or 2 years later. But I've also done a run with DR1202 all the way from Preston to Glasgow, which was interesting because it was mostly in the dark.
I always say Rick's number in a different way from how you say it.
How would you say it?
1202.
Yeah, other people say it like that as well. I don't know why I've always pronounced it DR1202. It should just be DR1202, but it's just the way I say it. Everyone's got a different way of saying things. Just different regional things. I don't even know anybody really who mentions it that way. I must be the only one.
It's like with the pronunciation of a lot of the Maori names here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty different. Some of them are quite difficult to pronounce, even for me, who's sort of been practicing trying to get the pronunciation right for a fair while now.
Mm. Then again, it's not trying to explain to people why Froome is pronounced Froome and not Portsmouth. I mean, Frome.
Speaking of ones that like place names that I always struggle with, hello Wales.
Where?
Wales.
Right.
Because a lot of the Welsh, I find a lot of the Welsh names really hard to pronounce.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn. Because I've got a friend Ben. He's we're working on a route together. Well, not together. There's a group of us doing it. It's basically converting the Brecon and Merthyr line in Train Sim Classic into a heritage railway. And I look at the spelling of some of these stations, and I'm like, "How do you pronounce that?" And they explain it, and he explains it, and I'm like, "Why is it pronounced like that when it's not like that?" Like there's a place called Kevin Coed, not Kevin, Kevin Coed, I think you pronounce it as, but it looks like it's spelt like Kefan Coed. And there's also Ponce de Piff, which is also got like 2 L's in it for some reason.
There is at least one Welsh town, although it's a fictional one, where the name is very easy to pronounce.
Go on.
Pontypandy.
Pontypandy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than Lanticilio Go Go Gog.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, there's no way I can pronounce the whole
another
one.
Welsh one I know? Cardiff, Newport and Swansea are pretty obvious.
Yeah, they're pretty simple to say. Blenaford as well. Merthyr Tydfil.
Aberystwyth.
Yep.
That's the start of the Vale of... I know that one because it's the
Vale
start
of
of the Vale of
Rheidol.
Rheidol.
That's right. Then you've got Tanaflin. You've got...
there's one of the stations on the line from Llandudno to Blaenau-Ffestiniog is Dolwytherland. But the TH sound is spelled with double D's.
Yeah.
Insert predictable joke here.
Yeah. Double D's. Oh. Well, at least it's not D's nuts.
Oh God. I didn't, at no point throughout this run did I think that you would end up referencing a 9-year-old meme.
Mate, I could reference some really old memes if I really wanted to. This is the kind of old
Well, like
person
we
I
are
am.
number one.
Oh God, no! Let's not think about that one. Oh my God, no. I'm trying to think. Actually, now I've been put on the spot. I'm trying to think of some old memes. I mean, I suppose the only memes I remember really embracing are things like the old troll face, and Success Kid.
Yeah, I know the Success Kid one. That's like that pic. That's the picture where the kid's like, isn't he sitting on a beach and he's like got a bunch of, like his fist is clenched, but he's got a bunch of sand in it.
Yeah, he's got a clenched fist and he's got a really sort of oddly smug look on his face. Yeah.
Probably not like the DDJP smug face that you see on his Discord.
Oh, that thing! Yeah, I love that thing. I love that face. If I could get that as a 3D object or a 2D flat surface to put on a loco, I absolutely would. I might talk to JRS about that at some point.
Anyone watching on my end can see that the signalman is kind of being a dickhead again.
What's he done?
Sent me. Oh well, it's I can't really describe it without.
We'll just have to watch it. We'll have to just
Uh,
watch it.
Yeah. Also, I've just passed 2 very familiar engines. It's Ed and Sid.
Oh God, what the bloody hell are they doing there?
I've got no idea.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, don't tell me they're doing a skit. Someone like Ed, yes, Sid. Why are we up on the West Coast main line? I have no idea. However, I know one thing. What's that? There's going to be a hot chick coming through soon. Is there? Yes, there is.
Yes, because apparently Sydney Sweeney knew where Carnforth is.
Oh mate, don't! Oh my God, Sydney Sweeney. Wow. Okay, let's woo! I'm getting a bit hot under the collar here. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Then again, it could be worse. Could have said Scarlett Johansson. Oh.
I don't really care for any of these like Hollywood celebrities anyway.
Nah, I mean, I don't really care for their personal life, but if someone's attractive, they're attractive, aren't they? Let's be honest. But, I mean, like, there's more. I always think that there's more to somebody than just how they look. It's about how you act and it's about your personality.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm like, well, I don't know, I always tell everybody that I'm ugly as sin, but apparently I've got a chirpy personality, so, you know, it all works out in the end. I'm just going to coast from here. I've got 6.7 miles to go, so I'm just going to do a nice gentle coast through the countryside.
Well, I'm about 1.25 miles from Hest Bank, which is that spot where the line runs past the beach for a little bit.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm still north of Lancaster.
Christ. So what we can determine from this, so far, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Train Sim World route, if you set it up as a free roam, you can set a destination. It's relatively smooth sailing. If you try and set up a free roam in Train Sim Classic, then the signalman will just turn around to you and say, "Oh, what was that? Sorry, you want to go over there? Now let's put you this way." That's literally how it feels with Train Sim Classic's dispatcher. He's just such a moron. I'm trying to make scenarios sometimes, and the dispatcher just literally flips out and it's just like, "Oh, I don't know where you want me to put the train. Just let them pass at the station." "Oh, I can't do that. I'm going to have to send this one through this platform." Why? Just do what I'm telling you to do. My goodness. Don't mind me ranting about the dispatcher in Train Sim Classic being a knobhead. Oh, I'm doing 101.
Was that about a 101?
Oh, I'm doing the speed 101.
Oh, I thought you meant you saw a class 101.
No, I don't think there is. Is there? Oh, a class 101 would be a DMU.
Yeah, the one that you initially got with Northern Trains P9, just as a 2-car set.
Yep.
And then they added the 3-car variant with Tees Valley.
Yep.
And I think they updated that
to have a 2-car variant as well, didn't they?
I think the version included with Preston to Carlisle has a few updates from the original.
Okay. I'll have to check them
out. Something I realised a while back was that the Class 101 is currently the only first-gen British DMU in TSW.
Yes, it is.
At some point, she will be joined by the Class 104.
That'll be interesting.
Which should hopefully make Peak Forest a little bit less
monotonous.
Aaron?
Yeah. It'd be nice if, I mean, oh, don't get me started on talking about the Steam situation in Train Sim World. Oh my god. Like, why we've got just Jubilees and 8Fs and just a single 4F that doesn't properly layer onto anything is beyond me. The fact that we're getting... The fact we're getting...
The less said about the Tommy Tank situation, the better.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Thomas the Tank Engine situation really bugs me to no end. I mean, the thing that bugs me the most about that, though, is that would we not have been better off if we were going to introduce steam engine development back into Train Sim World? We would have been so much better off with a Ginty, for example, so we can layer that onto Spirit Steam and Peak Forest. But what do we know? We're just the paying customers. No one gives a rat's fart about what we think, apparently. Let's just do Tommy Tank, because that'll get all the children to come and buy our game, is basically how they see it.
In other news, I am now about to go through Lancaster Station.
Right. I'm 1.8 from Preston.
Oh dear.
I've been coasting though. I'm sort of giving you a chance to catch up, so I haven't got to do too much pre-ambly stuff at the end of the run. Well, I suppose I can get out and watch my train go.
I am looking at a Pacer.
Pacers! Oh, Pacers! We love Pacers round here. Oh. Pacers
it's in the ex-Northern Rail livery.
Oh, nice. I can't like them.
I should have numbered it to like one of the preserved units.
Oh, mate, yeah.
I know the National Collection's got 142001. And there's 2 at the East Kent Railway, but I can't remember where the other preserved 142s are.
I can't remember either.
Right, time to try and pick up a bit more speed.
Trying to slow down. Coming into Preston.
That's right, I placed down another 2 engines at Preston.
Now the real question is, can I stop before this red signal?
I thought you were going to say the real question is, what is a question?
Actually, that is a good question. I mean, have you ever wondered to yourself, what is a question? Why is a question? Who is a question? And when is a question? These are the important questions we must ask questions about, people. And the answer to my question was that I can indeed slow down enough to come into Preston gently.
I just remembered something a bit random, but it relates to the Swanage Railway.
Go on.
The music video for a song called In a Big Country was partially filmed at Corfe Castle Station.
Oh! That's again information I didn't know.
The band's name is Big Country. So it's one of those curious instances where you've got a band's name included as the song title.
Interesting.
Another example is Living in a Box, where their only hit was called Living in a Box.
weird.
Aye. Yeah, one hit one. I sort of find one hit wonders a bit of a curious subject. Like it's what I said earlier when I brought up Autograph and their song "Turn Up the Radio."
I've made it to Preston, by the way.
I'm just going through. Was it Albeck or Ubeck, however you say it?
The only problem is I've now got to move forward to my marker. Doesn't matter. I've already made it here, but.
Alright. Well, I'm doing the ton and still accelerating a little bit. About 0.4 of a mile from Goldgate Viaduct. I recognise this viaduct, despite never having seen it in real life.
Ah.
At least not yet, anyway.
Right, there we go. I've made it to Preston. I'm now going to crawl through the engine bay. It's a little bit of fun. And then I'm going to exit the train, and then I'm going to stand on the platform and do something while I wait for you to show up with your train. Well done, Earl Marischal. You're my butter to my toast. Very
Sounds
good.
like something Jago Hazard would say.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's delete this train for a minute then. Right, it'd be funny if you could do that in real life, just delete a train. Bye.
One of the engines that I placed at Preston on my end is a Class 40.
Oh, nice. I wonder who that could be.
You'll see which specific Class 40 it is before too long.
It's going to be turbo.
Damn it!
It's not difficult.
Ruined the surprise.
I love ruining people's surprises. I live for ruining people's day. It makes me feel so much happier. Right. Oh gosh. Right. Well, on my side, I think we're pretty much done here on my side. There's not much more I can do on my side, so I'm going to sign off the recording on this end. So, all there is to say on my end anyway is I won. And thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time. Goodbye. And that is the end of my recording.
I did keep my recording going until I got to Preston, where I had Turbo, the Class 40, at the parcels platform facing Carlisle, and Mara, the T14, parked in a bay platform facing Ormskirk. Although I tried adding subtitles and editing, even I found it so hard to hear and understand what I was saying on the recording that I just thought, fuck it. Then I gave up with subtitles and just decided to cut out the last 14 minutes of my recording, as much as I didn't really want to. In any case, I consider it a great honour to have collaborated with Dark DJ himself, given that it's something I never thought I would get to do. I'll include a link to his channel in the description for anyone who's interested, and for the time being, I don't really know what else to say apart from thank you all for watching and I'll see you next time. Here's to a successful 2025.